we realized that programming and English has no relationship. Software development can be done without learning English. If you see Guvi's success is in some manner success of this live interactive classes.
That is Zen.
The live interactive classes that you have today really works. We are now fragmenting based on religion, caste, community. Horrible state. This is going to bring India down. So I think next 25 years is very critical. If you don't fix things, we will be in big trouble.
Right now, there is no much difference between developing or developed countries. Everything which is available there present here. For example, iPhone 15, yesterday it was released, today it was here in India. There is no much difference in terms of product impedance lag. But in the quality, there is a lag. How to
I think
fix
even
that?
all these are, India is a very large country, very low income country, still a very poor country. Our per capita income is just crossed $2,000. How can we compare with that country's per capita income is $30,000? We are growing rapidly up. And in a matter of 25 years, the same 2,000 may become 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. Then you will see there will be no lag. I think over last 20 years, average per capita real GDP went up by 6.5 times. And it is increasing the same way. That's what's going to happen.
Okay.
Why don't we let them ask questions?
Sure. Any questions?
Any
We'll wait.
question, anybody.
How could a online startup and our startup can compete in some of the of online and large price?
If you watch what has happened out here, most of our startups are by people who are between 22 to 24 year old. Start very, very small, sometimes slightly older, 25, 26, and grow. Take, for example, Guvi. When these three youngsters started, what did they have? They couldn't even speak English properly. In fact, I don't know whether you know their story. So I had gone for an award. PayPal. I was giving awards. And these two people got award for the best software developer of last 3 years or 5 years, I don't remember. But after the function, there was a cup of tea and they were there in front of me and I was chatting with them. The first thing that I noticed was that they could not speak English well. I asked them. They say, well, sir, we come from a village. We lived in a village all our life. Even our college was in district. Never spoke English, only in Tamil, everything. Then we learned software and got this job. And in the city we are learning English. We are slow. And they also told me, sir, two things they told me. Sir, they are the best software engineers. They're doing very well. We are bored of our work. It's getting routine. Number two, people always used to tell that you don't know English, you won't do well. We realized that programming and English has no relationship. Software development can be done without learning English. He says, but most people don't understand that. They said that they would like to set up an NGO. That's what you told me.
Still
To
true.
help rural children learn software, learn programming in vernacular language, and do well. I told them, come to my home.
Yeah.
So I remember first time they came, they were there for 4 hours. And the first thing that I was drilling into their head, no NGO, set up a company. They had no idea, they were worried. I asked them that, have you saved enough money to survive for a year and a half? They say, yeah, we can manage. I say, I can help you set up a company. And they did set up a company. And all I can say, they struggled like any other startup. They struggled. Several times it appeared there is no tomorrow.
True.
Like any other startup. In fact, I have not known of a startup which has not failed, where people were not beaten down one day. The ones which did well, after getting beaten down, after failure, they will get up again. And they will work even harder. To again fail, to again get up and work even harder. And finally, someday the luck may also help you.
True.
And that's the time you start growing. And there is no looking back after that. Actually, the story is same, whether you talk about Guvi or Unifor or Aether or any other company. It is the same story. So, in fact, people often ask me, if she comes to me and says that she wants to set up a startup, what I will try to figure out, how many times has she failed in the life? And what did she do when she failed? If you have not failed, you have lived in a very comfortable life, you have not learned to even start a startup. If you have failed, beaten down, I like to figure out how did you get up? What lessons did you learn? And what did you do next? And once again, when you failed, once again, how did you get up? It is a repeated failure and getting up that makes our organization successful. Every time learning, trying to do something better and better. That is what Guvi did. Many times I thought, it's not going to go everywhere. You feel a little guilty also at that time that you got them from such a well-paying, respectable job to get something started. And the perseverance of getting up again and standing up again. Tighten your belt. Live with very little for some time. All these are essential characteristics of a successful startup. And that's what's happening. We have created an environment in which that happens. What I kept on saying, it took time. Private engineering colleges in the beginning were not doing that well. But it was very clear that two things it was able to do very quickly. First, it expanded from 20,000 seats to 1 million seats, or 500,000 to begin with, then 1 million. So, the shortage that was there went away. So, quantity is the first thing that it did, which was very important for a country like India. Because if you failed in quantity, India can never grow.
Correct.
The second was it inclusive? Did it only take people which are city-based? In fact, when I was a student, when I went into IIT, the students who came from English medium school always had advantage, because English was one of the subjects in which the entrance exam took place.
Okay.
So it was not inclusive. Gradually we had become inclusive, but still it was city-based students, people who went to Kota, people who went to Hyderabad used to have a very good engineering college. It is these students, urban, upper middle class, city-based students. Rural students always got left out. The people from middle to upper middle class, upper middle caste did better. Scheduled caste, scheduled tribe had no means. Even many of the OBC didn't do much. What these private colleges did, it became inclusive. We suddenly found, so after quality, the second important thing that happened is inclusiveness. You found soon that people from rural areas, 40% of the students in many of these colleges came from rural areas. They came from all kinds of community, caste. 25% of them came from all kinds of quality. So we had solved quantity. These colleges have solved quantity and inclusiveness. Quality was uneven. Some, as I told you, colleges started doing very well. So many others did not. And we said, well, instead of blaming these colleges, this is our responsibility. Can we enhance quality? Quality enhancement.
Correct.
In engineering education. That is the program that we had started. QEEE. I had conceived of that and gone to Delhi, lobbied with them. Essentially, we found that if you want to do quality enhancement, there were two streams that we could launch. One was, and we launched it more or less simultaneously, NPTEL, another was QEEE. What was the difference? QEEE always had live classes.
Okay.
Live interactive classes.
We have been there to teach as well.
So that's how, in fact, your Guvi came just then. Live interactive classes. We felt that anything that you create video and post it, they're okay. But I myself had watched some of these video lessons during my college days. It comes as a dead. So yes, you can learn, but you have to be highly motivated. Only highly motivated students do well using NPTEL. Because it is recorded once you can watch. There also plays a very important role, but you need to have that motivation. Of course, there also we are modifying, saying the exam will be live. That is helping. QEEE in the beginning, on the other hand, we said we will have live classes right from the beginning. Live. Interactive. Not just live, but live and interactive.
So this is way before all the geo revolution, all the Zoom, all the COVID came in, he conceived it.
So way back in 10 years back, 12 years back, 2010, we will do the broadcasting, video broadcasting, streaming, and questions will be asked. Questions was thinner channel, communication was not as strong before 3G, 4G came. And I think when Guvi was formed in 14-15, they were given the first opportunity to do that. And in fact, if you see Guvi's success, is in some manner success of this live interactive classes.
That is Zen.
The live interactive classes that you have today really works. Very different from NPTEL, which is recorded lectures.
Which is our courses.
Which also you also have. So you have both of them. These two approaches make a huge difference. Live classes essentially made college students from even smaller college, if they are able to ask questions, it kind of made them feel different. And today, we have made it commercially successful. Hats off to you.
Thank you, Professor. All started with you.
Anything else?
Any other questions?
You have a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Why is greater potential people, right? Which you said to vent our account, right? So is it more of a corporation or is it more of a country?
They had no idea they want to start a company at that time. They wanted NGO. But they corrected to me. And somewhere or other, people write, people find out. In fact, many people, when we started, we have done 350 companies, by the way, not 320. They very often write to us saying that I want to start. And when you meet them, you see how keen they are. As I pointed out, the key thing that we'll ask them, how many times have you failed in your life and what did you do after your failure? And are you ready to take challenge? Are you ready to fail? Do you have the risk-taking ability? Very important, because you may fail. And if you have that, good, we'll bring you in. Do you succeed? Is the idea play a very important role? Minor role. Because you very often do not succeed in what you start with.
Correct.
You have to keep modifying, keep modifying. Today, you have two big models. One live classes, one recorded class. And it is a combination which works. Somewhere something, somewhere other thing works. But the other thing, I have not seen anyone succeed without, first, lots of failure, getting up after failure, without very hard work. Long hours, 16 hours a day. Without heavy belt tightening. Spending as little as possible. Because you don't have money.
True.
In fact, starvation is a very good reason for your success, very good condition in which you succeed. In fact, I always point out that if you give you large grant, you will fail. If you keep you hungry, you will succeed. So I think next 25 years is very critical. If you don't fix things, we will be in big trouble. This is our opportunity. We will become old. And that time carrying a large population will be a big burden. What do we need to do? First, we need a country, very open country, where people work together irrespective of caste, community, religion, region. It doesn't matter. If in any of this we try to be exclusive, we are going to not succeed. You can pretend to succeed. But reality is we will succeed if we are together. We nurture talent, figure out, get our youngsters opportunity. Hard work is not what we are worried about. We'll do hard work. There will be inequality, but not as much as it is today. I'm quite okay if somebody can earn 25 times, 50 times more than another person, but not 10,000 times. I think we need a different kind of society. And we have to work together. This, all of you. Nothing can stop us if we do it right. If we are together. We should be able to openly speak. We should be trolled. It is perfectly all right to make mistakes. It's perfectly all right to say wrong things and be corrected. How else will you learn? Shutting oneself up is not going to help. It's perfectly all right to debate. India was very fortunate, is a very fortunate, from 47 onwards we have been open society. Where we have debated. We have come from, our opinions have been very different. Somewhere we are fragmenting ourselves today. In early 70s, early 80s, I was worried that Will it fragment into region? Punjab going one direction, Tamil Nadu. And then we integrated the country. In fact, IT played a very important role in integrating the country.
True. Very true.
But we are now fragmenting based on religion, caste, community. Horrible state. This is going to bring India down. And we cannot afford that. Fortunately, there is enough in us. Remember, this is a land where Gandhiji was able to defeat Britishers without raising arms. By simply truth and ahimsa. Whether we like it or not, whether we have read it or not, somewhere it is embedded in us.
Correct.
That will help us. And when we do get stronger, we must remember a few things. Never forget to be compassionate. If he is not doing as well, we should pull him up. That should be the value, rather than trying to beat others. Yes, we should together excel. That should be your company's motto. You should together excel. Including those of them are your students. Along with that, all of you must excel. Number 2, we must be very clear that this environment has to be protected. We can't have this destruction, the climate change, kill the whole earth. We have to, and for that, we have to go for comfortable but simpler living. I think being together, being compassionate, simpler living, comfortable, no enjoying, and having values internally. It's perfectly all right to differ. Good, it's always helpful. But we'll resolve differences. That is what India needs for the next 25 years. And I hope that will carry it through. Remember, your 25 years, many of you are 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, is the period in which India will either go wrong or right. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor, for sharing your time and knowledge with us.